Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Roadmaster Chuckalicious Chuck Williams.
And you couldn't think of a better title for you as we have the Masters of the Roads with us today. Miss Sonja Gross from the Texas Department of Transportation. Miss Sonja, how you doing today?
Good. How about you guys?
Last week we were standing outside after Chuck had gotten here. We met a gentleman. I think he came by to talk about his income tax with one of the residents here in the building. We met some guy you work with, and he commented on how busy TxDOT was,
Yes.
how many projects he's got on, and how much he's having to get up and go. And then, of course, the one thing that we wish we could eliminate him from having to do on his job is accidents, going out on accidents and that sort of stuff. We're seeing more people out on roadways. We're seeing more better weather, more motorcycles, a lot of dangers out there, a lot of safety things we can look at on roadways right now, right?
A sure thing. Got a lot to share with you this morning. Time will allow. Got some construction updates for you. But first, since you mentioned the safety, we will be hosting a press conference Thursday morning at 9 a.m. You'll see something about that later today if I ever get around to it. It's going to be at our Travel Information Center. Our Director of Operations, Wes Kimmel, will kick off the Click It or Ticket campaign, and will be joined by a host of law enforcement officials, including our good friend Sergeant Cindy Barkley from the Texas Department of Public Safety. She'll be sharing some stats, and you're not going to like those stats. Don't become a stat. No one wants that. That should be a new thing. You know that. Here's Bob. Don't be Bob. Here's stat. Don't be a stat. So that Click It or Ticket campaign, we'll kick that off Thursday. It kicked off, I think, statewide yesterday, but our local event is Thursday. So wanted to put that on your radar to be looking out for that. And when you're ready, I've got a ton of construction project updates.
I was going to say, let's hit that construction.
Hit it. Okay. Well, let's start on I-27. One of our projects, which is the hazard elimination and safety for the construction of highway safety improvements. And yes, I am reading, consisting of safety treatment, fixed objects, refurbished pavement markings, installing safety illumination. That's from the, let me see, the Swisher County line to US 60, US 287 interchange. That project is just beginning and is estimated to be completed by the end of this year. And that contractor on that is 3LW. I think that's a new contractor for us. Our well-known contractor, Allen Butler Construction, they're working on the highway improvement for the construction of the freeway operational improvements that consist of the 2-inch mill and fill, SMA overlay. That's about a 4-inch overlay, drainage improvements. That project is the one we all know and love. It began in July of 21 and estimated to be complete by, are you ready for this?
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
No time soon. I'm not.
I walked into that one.
That's because it's a huge undertaking. It's going to end in 2025, if I'm not mistaken. They're, finishing up the retaining walls and the coping around the bridges, as well as drainage in the inlets. And I think they've got a couple more months left on that part of the project, and then they'll move on to ramp reversals. And then after that, then we've got the paving. And so it's a very extensive and intensive project. And, it seems like no matter what we do, we've got the last couple of days, I've seen a cop car up at the top of one of the bridges. We've got signs saying maximum speed limit is 50 miles per hour. I'm the only one obeying the law, or at least it feels that way. Guys, people are working there, and it's not that long of a construction zone. You're not going to get there any faster if you're dead. So, or you kill someone. So slow down. I mean, that's a serious curve there on I-27,
right,
where our guys our contractor and our project managers are working. So I love those people. I want to see them in one piece, and I know their families even more so do. So slow down. And then another I-27 construction project I want to let everyone know is converting that non-freeway to a freeway. Alan Butler is the contractor on that. Reconstructing the bridge and reversing ramps, State Loop 335, converting non-freeway to freeway, the interchange, main lanes, frontage roads, all of that we're doing west of Coulter Street to I-27. That project, as we know, began in November of 2017, and it should be complete by mid to end of this year. They're just really right now working on the minor pay items and completing what we call punch list items to get that project wrapped up. So that's pretty much everything on I-27. But I've got a lot more to talk about, but I don't know if you need to take a commercial break.
No, keep going. We'll
keep going. Okay.
Keep rolling.
Ranch to Market, RM 1061. We've got some improvements, much needed improvements coming to that in 3 different phases or 3 different parts. The first is from Coulter to just south of 2381. Kiewit is our contractor on that. We're converting it to a Super 2 north of 2381 to the 385. Another portion is just the middle of the project lines, and it'll make more sense when I get to my next statement. Well, let me go to the next statement and I'll go back. You all know I don't do mornings. Okay, so what they're working right now is the middle portion. All they and they as you, the driver, are seeing is the widening of areas. We're preparing for the widening of those Super 2s. We're adding, I think, at least 8 Super 2 passing lanes in both directions. And all of the 1061, including the paving, including the Super 2s, that's going to be done by the end of this year. So coming up, I think we really start with the lane closures this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So be prepared if you can find another way to get to your destination, please do, because you're going to be delayed on 1061 for the next several months while they're doing that much needed safety improvement project.
So, Ms. Sonja, do traffic lines, do they double or increase when you're in those work zones, or is there any
yes, they double.
Yeah.
And people need to realize that let's say, for example, construction project is 10 miles long. And so it's a construction zone for 10 miles, but the contractor is working at mile 9 and you're caught speeding in mile 2.
Right.
That's still a construction zone. Yeah. You cannot go to court and argue. Well, you can, but if your argument is no one was present, it's still a construction zone. Right. And that's because every construction zone is different. Sometimes the traffic pattern has changed, whether you don't see the crew for 2 miles or 9 miles. There could be a traffic switch where you're going straight and then you're shifted to another lane of traffic, so you need to slow down so you can be prepared for those changes ahead and be prepared for delays. Yeah. So use extra time, use extra, use your noggin.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to take a quick break.